and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Federal government mulls 6 new oil and gas regulations amid elusive deregulation. Nigeria's power supply improves by 4.6% to 84.05 gigawatts. NIWA targets 2 million containers shipment by 2025. And now, the news in detail. Amid the seeming inability of the federal government to fully deregulate the downstream segment of the petroleum industry, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) yesterday revealed that 6 new regulations were being planned to ensure clarity, improve processes, and ease of doing business in the sector. Consistent with provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), the authority's chief executive, Farouk Ahmed, who made the disclosure during a meeting with members of the Independent Petroleum Producers Group (IPPG) in Abuja, said the guidelines are gas pricing, environmental management plan, environmental remediation fund, decommissioning and abandonment, gas infrastructure fund, and natural gas pipeline tariff. According to him, a working team chaired by Executive Director, Distribution Systems, Storage and Retailing Infrastructure (DSSRI) Obugo Ukoha would review the draft regulations, engage and consult stakeholders for smooth implementation. This is coming at a time when the government is still retaining price control that is making the country to spend 4 trillion naira on petrol subsidy in 2022 alone. Nigeria's energy supply improved slightly on Sunday by 4.6% to 84.05 gigawatts from 80.36 gigawatts recorded in the previous day, following a 3.8% increase in energy generation to 85.21 gigawatts. Despite the marginal growth, Nigeria's energy generation continues to tread below the minimum 105 kilowatt-hour required to record some level of stability in power supply in the country. Notably, Nigeria continue to grapple with epileptic power supply, with multiple grid disruptions recorded so far in 2022, causing widespread blackouts across the country. Electricity is an essential need for many Nigerians and their businesses, especially given the surge in the cost of alternative energy amidst the global energy crisis. The cost of power in the country has gone up and is further exacerbated by constant disruption in electricity supply. The National Inland Waterways Authority (NIWA) is targeting a total of 2 million containers shipments through the Nigerian inland waterways annually by 2025. Managing Director NIWA, George Mohalu, disclosed this at a virtual breakfast meeting organized by the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping (NCS). The meeting has as its theme Barge Operations System, a sustainable alternative to land transportation of cargoes. Mohalu expressed optimism that the vessel fleet, which includes barge and tugs, will surpass 50,000 in 3 years. The future looks very bright for the inland waterway business as we look forward that in the next 3 years, that is by the year 2025, we aim to achieve 2 million containers moved through the inland waterways per annum. We expect 500 daily trips of vessel traffic to and from the port, 8 million metric tons of cargoes conveyed on the inland waterways per annum, and employment of 2 million personnel in this sector, he said. Joint talks between Khartoum and Juba have begun in Khartoum to develop joint cooperation in the field of petroleum, discuss technical and financial arrangements, increase oil production, and the challenges that face implementation of previous agreements between the two countries. A high-level delegation headed by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Petroleum and the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of South Sudan, accompanied by a number of technicians, have arrived for the talks. Lithuania has stopped importing energy supplies from Russia. The move was confirmed by the country's energy minister, Dainius Krevis, who said as of Sunday, Lithuania will have completely cut imports of Russian energy supplies, that is oil, electricity or natural gas, due to the Nord Pool's decision to stop trading Russian electricity from its only importer in the Baltic states. Earlier this month, Lithuania inaugurated a new gas pipeline linking the country with Poland, and on that day, some government officials were quoted as saying that we will never be dependent on Russian gas. Amid the lingering forex scarcity and dwindling external reserves, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has assured that there is enough in the nation's reserve to finance 8.3 months of imports for goods and services. CBN reviewed this in its report on foreign exchange flows through the economy published on its website. According to the report, Nigeria's current reserve, which stood at $39.38 billion as at January 31st, 2022, could finance 8.3 months of imports for goods and services, or 10.9 months of imports for goods only. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Federal government mulls 6 new oil and gas regulations amid elusive deregulation. Nigeria's power supply improves by 4.6% to 84.05 gigawatts. NIWA targets 2 million containers shipment by 2025. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.